We're going to get started. How many of you use Character Animator? So do we have any? Yay, hello. And how many of you have seen Character Animator? Nice. And how many of you are here resting your feet from a long day, Day 1 Comic-Con? All right, well, we are glad you're here as well. Yay. Perfect. So what we're going to do, because a lot of you haven't necessarily spent a lot of time looking at or seeing Character Animator, is we're going to do a really quick demo of what Character Animator is. We'll keep it short because we've got a lot of great artists here. One of the things that I love about Comic-Con is that people come from all over the world. And to my left is Chris. He has come from Norway. He is AKA Scribbly. You might have heard of him. You might have watched him on Twitch. To his left is Jacob Mercy, and he's come from Portland, Oregon. And then further down is Jen Chu and Keith Stevens, and they have come from New York. So we have a great number of artists. They've come a long ways to show you their work. But first, we're gonna do this quick demo.
So Character Animator brings Illustrator and artwork, Illustrator and Photoshop artwork to life using your camera, microphone, keyboard, mouse, that type of thing. It's a really easy way to animate characters. Everything starts in Photoshop or Illustrator. So this is just a typical document here with layers, groups named head, and layers named eyebrow, hair. And if you draw a bunch of lip sync mouths in a mouth group and import it into the program, it'll just automatically work with our lip sync and a bunch of other things. So I'm going to switch back to Character Animator and open that puppet.
How many people here use Photoshop? Nice. And how about Illustrator? Cool. Thank you. We think so too.
So here you can see it's tracking my face. It's able to tell when I'm turning my head, position, rotation, and scale. If I look around, it's tracking my eyes. And also, if I turn on this microphone, this is just going to use the onboard microphone, so the quality isn't going to be amazing. But if I turn on lip sync, you can see now that the character is automatically swapping the mouths. So it makes everything super fast. These guys all focus right now, at least partly, on live streaming. So that just means, using this application. So now I'm going to start using the face behavior, and if I enable this dragger behavior, I can control the character. You can do this all live, but another thing you can do is create an animation with it. So I'm just going to give a quick example of that. So to start, I'm going to turn off the microphone here. I have turned on this dragger behavior for the right arm. I'm going to hit record. It's like the pull position start. So here, basically, I have mouse control of the character's right arm. So when I'm done, this is just like recording in a music application. This isn't dropping, 7,500 keyframes and managing them all manually. You can kind of perform the character, so you can see already how easy it was to get the right hand moving. So now I'm just going to turn off the right hand and turn on the left hand and do the same thing here for the character's left hand. So they're playing guitar, they're changing their guitar chords. And predictably, when I'm done and I hit play, you're going to see that now, we're building an animation.
Wait, do we have any singers in the audience? You want to come up here and sing really quick?
Yeah,
come
we got
up
it.
here and you be the singer.
See, there's not. Just
No.
sing into the computer.
But we're gonna
it's going to give you a little pole position countdown, and then you start.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants. Absorbed in yellow and pours the sea. SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yay.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All right, let's see that recording.
So this was just using the onboard Mac microphone, but the audio talent is what matters. It's not the equipment. So I'm going to hit play.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants. Absorbed in yellow and pours the sea. SpongeBob SquarePants. Okay,
So you can see how quick it is to assemble an animation. Do we have time, Puppetron?
Yeah, let's do
okay.
Puppetron really quick.
This is kind of a super fun thing. I'm going to show you this super secret project we're doing. It's called Project Puppetron. Right now, like I don't draw,
shipping yet.
so I can make animations, but I'm not really capable of drawing animations. So this is kind of our first stab at allowing people that can't draw their own chance to, play with this software. So I'm going to create a new capture here and stick my face right in that circle. I'm going to make a neutral expression. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to smile, frown, surprised. I'm going to say ah, d, e, o, o. This sounds so good. S, I feel like Adobe's playing a practical joke on me. Ooh. Okay, so what happened there, I took a picture of me making these fundamental mouth shapes. We call them visemes, which we analyzed the audio, and then my Lyle Lovett hair was matted out perfectly. Using the power of Adobe Sensei, artificial technology, it was actually able to look at those pictures. It knows what's the face, it knows what's the hair, and it was able to check those out. So right now I can make a puppet of myself with just my talking head and kind of the jib-jab style. So this now allows people that kind of easy access jib-jab. But the cool thing is you can actually use artwork that either you drew or someone else drew to stylize it. So I can take this picture and all of a sudden I can trick someone into thinking that I have done, this amazing oil painting portrait of myself. Or a cool sketch done in pencil style. And it's actually using the geometry of my face. It's using all sorts of, like, in my business we call it witchcraft, to basically segment everything and create this composite image from my source pictures and these pieces of art. I want these guys to get a chance, so I'm going to pick one style. I actually thought this one looked pretty good. So I'm going to hit Generate Puppet, and what that's going to do is it's going to stylize every single frame we just took. So there's my smile, there's my probably blink, there's my surprise. So it's going to stylize all of these, and then when it gets into the application, I'll actually be able to use it as a puppet. One great example that I wish I had here was if you use Abe Lincoln from the $5 bill as your portrait, it'll actually make you look like you belong on a dollar bill. And then using After Effects or something else, you can just put it, or Character Animator for that matter, you can put your face onto a dollar bill, and if you want to say money talks, you can now do it literally. So it also took a picture of my background, and it's stylizing the background using the exact same. So there's my crazy face. I'm going to turn the position strength down a bit, but it still responds to the position, rotation, and scale. If I zoom in here, you can see that it's tracking my eyes just like the other puppet, and it's doing the lip sync. So this allows people without any skill to be able to create something immediately. So the next thing I'm going to show, we've got the ability to stream these live. So I'm going to enable streaming here. This streams to both Mercury Transmit and Siphon. I'm using something called the NDI plugin. And if I switch to Wirecast here, programs like Wirecast and OBS Studio, they can take the feed directly from Character Animator, and then from there on, you can broadcast it to YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, all sorts of other live streaming. But now that I have taken my time, I would love for these experts to...
Now we're going to show you Chris's video.
Hi, my name is Scribbly, and I'm here to show you all how I work and what goes on behind the stream. Let's dive right in. Before every stream, I always make sure everything looks alright and works the way I want it to. That includes tracking, pedals, touch, and other inputs. Here you can see that I forgot to remove my glasses, as they can make tracking a bit difficult. Also, my hair was a mess, and now my face is over there. Just give it a slap, it'll find its way home. And like I said, now I'm just walking over all of the inputs, making sure that everything works the way I want it to. Double checking the dragger handles are working, pedals, all that good stuff. And once you're done, you're ready to go live. And this is what it looks like. Now over there on the left, you can see two camera views, one over the shoulder and one on the pedals. I'll try to explain what's going on. Right now, I'm just using the keyboard to make sure that the faces are working. T for triggered. And here's the bubble gun. Now, the bubble gun shoots the bubbles using the middle pedal. Now, my left foot is blocking my right foot, unfortunately, but it's the middle pedal. The left pedal makes me smile, and the right pedal makes me sad. Here I'm walking out of the room to get into the Hoverbot 3000. The Hoverbot 3000 is my chair. I'm also moving a slider to adjust my Y positioning so that I float mid-air. Here I'm using the middle pedal to animate the hand going back and forth, so it looks like I'm controlling the Hoverbot. And here I'm moving the slider down while holding down the middle pedal. This is usually what I look like when I do my show. I usually sit in the chair. You know, having a TV for a face can get very dusty, so, you know, always wipe. It's very important. And that is pretty much it. If you have any questions about the rig or anything else, come find me and I'll gladly answer whatever question you may have. You'll find me at the Adobe booth. Have a fantastic Comic-Con and enjoy the panel.
So I don't know how well you guys could all see the bottom left corner. So I don't know if you could describe a little bit more about what your whole setup is. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, sure. So my setup is stupid overkill, but I got two computers, one for gaming on and one for streaming and using character animator on. The three pedals are just mimicking three of the keyboard keys, which is A, X, and S. And all of those are connected into the main streaming computer. I have two keyboards, although right there you can see that I only got one. That is because I'm using something called Synergy, which allows me to use one keyboard on two computers, which is something I use whenever I play console games. If I were to play a PC game, I would connect the other keyboard as well. The left monitor is the streaming computer monitor. That is a touchscreen monitor with multi-touch. So sometimes I would flip that over and control both of his arms with my hands. So it's kind of like, it's not so much live animation as it's more like live puppeteering in a way.
So when did you get started on Twitch? How long ago?
It's, it'll be 2 years in October.
And you've got quite a lot of viewers, it seems like.
Yeah.
What, can you give us an idea?
Right now we're closing in on 12,000 followers, I think. And we're at around 150 to 200 concurrent viewers at every stream.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Could you describe, because I was lucky enough to see it happen, like what happened at
Yeah,
the beginning
you were
when
there.
you first did this, because you didn't have 12,000 followers
No,
immediately.
not at all. It was funny. It's really hard to break through on Twitch because you're just a little fish in the ocean, right? There's so many other people trying to do the same thing that you're doing, which is making it on Twitch. And it took me 5 months to get 50 followers, which is super slow. That's because you're at the bottom of every directory, and getting viewers and getting discovered is close to impossible. And what happened for me was that another character streamer, actually, believe it or not, it was not using character animator, but he's been contacting me about it. So it's cool. I'm gonna try to get him over. He had a really good following, and he tweeted me out. And then one day, I was just getting flooded with viewers. And then Twitch themselves discovered my channel, and they were amazed by this new way of streaming. And suddenly they tweet me out, and that's when everything changed. All of a sudden, thousands of people came in, and I had no idea what to do. I was freaking out. But I kept it cool, and ever since then, it's just been going uphill. And yeah.
That's great. So I think one of the other cool things about Twitch, though, is that there can be lots of different things. Not just, I mean, you are gaming and using your avatar, but Jacob here does a couple different things on Twitch. So why don't we see the video that you made?
Go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Jacob Mercy.
Wrong way.
And
Wrong way.
okay, well,
You need to
so
look
where am I
look at the
supposed to-
camera. Look at the camera.
Well, you didn't draw a camera, so I don't know. Okay, no, wait. Oh, I got
straight
it.
ahead.
I got it. Here. Hi. My name is Jacob Mercy, and I am the co-creator of Barkles, America's Favorite Dog, and Barkles, Best Dog of All Time, and the newly released Barkles, One Hell of a Dog. I work for David Chelsea, a Eisner-nominated comic book artist in Portland, Oregon, and some of my work has also been published in Dark Horse Presents. Now, I'm pretty good at inking and lettering and coloring, but there's one thing that I feel like I haven't really gotten the hang of yet, and that's drawing. Drawing is an enormous, very, very complicated topic, so I started a Twitch stream in order to share my journey. Join me, won't you?
Okay, you're good.
Is that good? Or,
Yeah. Roll the
Okay.
Roll the clip.
Roll
the clip.
Okay, yeah, I'll roll the clip. Hold on. Jesus. Ugh, working with this guy. Make sure from 2.
I'm sure you haven't heard that before.
I have absolutely heard that before, but I mean, okay, so let's follow this way, but yeah, you'll notice that I've actually all I've really done here is just move the bottom of the nose forward. That's it. That's the one thing. It took me basically just a couple seconds in Photoshop, and I think it's probably a perspective thing because the angle of the nose is supposed to shoot kind of head straight down the way it's drawn, but since she's looking slightly up, you kind of want to push it forward slightly. And if I get that stun damage, yeah, now we're talking. Later. Let's see if I can. Nope, he's moving in the grass. Gotcha. Hit, knock. If you watch it backward, it's a whole different story, honestly. So yeah, I guess the last guy introduced me okay. So I as you may have noticed from the video, I'm kind of a screw up. I'm a failure. I'm a mess. I'm a waste. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm here. I am. We've got a partner and affiliate. I am not actually anything on Twitch right now. I think the term is schmuck. I think is for the lowest level, and that's what I am. I have like 2 or 3 viewers on a good day. If I get rated, maybe 5 or 6. But I'm here, and that's what I want to talk about today, which is that's okay. You can be a failure. You can be a mistake. The important thing is that you keep working at it and that you try to improve and you try to learn from what's going on. I've made enormous strides, just basically trying to draw every day, trying to stream every day. I had, I think, 300 hours in PUBG before I started winning chicken dinners, and all 3 of them, the reason that clip is so short is because that's actually all the chicken dinners I've got so far. But I'm trying, and part of what got me into this and sort of really thinking about things from that perspective is the fact that I do 24-hour comics. And so for those of you who aren't familiar, 24-hour comic is where you write, draw, ink, and letter 24 pages of a comic in 24 hours. It is really hard to do since it usually takes a team, about 22 days, right? And David Chelsea, the guy I work for, has actually managed to do 18 of these because he's a lunatic. And that's really taught me that you can make mistakes, you can take shortcuts, and you can try things and experiment, and that is where growth and development goes. But during this process, I kind of ran into an issue. David Chelsea is kind of a big deal, and there came a time when there was a documentarian who came around and wanted to make a movie about him. And it's a big deal. They had a premiere here at San Diego for it, and I was in it because I work for him part-time, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life. I was so miserable because at first they just wanted me to go in for one interview where I talk about my dumb boss, and I was like, okay, but then they're like, oh, we really like your dynamic, we really think you've got like a Spencer and Dan Harmon thing going on. We enjoy the bants. We like the bants a lot. And so I keep getting called in for more interviews, and I am not comfortable with cameras. I do not like cameras, and it just got worse and worse, and it has literally been one of the worst experiences of my life. And, one of the things about that is that I take privacy seriously. For people on Twitch, this is a really strange time. The New Yorker just released an article talking about a streamer by the name of Ice Poseidon. And that dude has a very hard time of it. He has been doxxed, he has been swatted, and people will literally just show up at his apartment to hang out. And as somebody who takes privacy seriously and who doesn't really like being on camera, this was really tough for me because I couldn't figure out, I'm a creative person. I need to get out there. I need to be on social media. I need to be talking to people and engaging with the world. But if I'm not going on camera, I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. And so that's one of the reasons I find character animator as exciting as I do, because for me, it's a way to basically find that common ground. It's a way for me to get out there without necessarily getting out there. It's a way for me to basically, strike a balance. And the thing is, for me, it feels almost more natural because when I'm interacting with people, they're interacting with me being creative. When you come in, you see these faces on these billboards, and I can't imagine anything worse than that. For me personally, that is a kind of hell. But what really excites me is the idea of having something I created up there. I don't want to be Daryl or the actor who plays Daryl. I want to be Robert Kirkman. I want to be the guy who comes up with stuff, like crazy stuff, and puts it out there in the world and lets people appreciate it. And so, character animator was really the way I found that balance. And, it's been an interesting experience. And I'm still not really sure what I'm doing. And the Twitch thing has been tricky because I hang out in the creative section, and I am learning art. And I don't know if any of you have tried, but it turns out that drawing's really, really hard. There's perspective and anatomy, and basically, I don't know if any of you ever tried to draw a car, but it's kind of a nightmare. And so being able to work with the puppet basically lets me feel more comfortable screwing up, failing, making those mistakes, and it's okay. I can keep going and I can keep learning. So what I would like to say today, what I would like to ask for each and every one of you is make a mistake. Try something you're not comfortable with. Try something you don't really understand, because that's how we learn and that's how we grow. And I would also like to ask you to maybe visit my Twitch page and hit that follow button if you can. I would appreciate it. And I would love to talk to you. Send me an email. If you want to talk to me afterward, I would love to do that. I would have one request, though, and that is no photos, please. And that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Jacob. I think one of the things, when we talked about this before the panel, but anonymity is a big thing for everyone, and trying to figure out, how much you want to be seen or not. And one of the lovely things about having an animated avatar is that avatar can look and be whatever you want it to be. But I also think one of the things I love that you said is this whole thing around drawing. I think all of us, no matter where we sort of see ourselves on the creative spectrum, struggle with, can I draw? Am I good at drawing? And I was so shocked when I learned that Jen doesn't necessarily like to draw. So, but let's see Jen's reel, because she does some amazing work in motion graphics and visual effects and with character animator. And then we're gonna see some of Keith's work making one of the characters.
You are here
to watch the cartoons,
to get romanticized by 3 cartoons.
It's hard work to be this good looking as a cartoon character.
Oh my gosh. I've got a giant bladder, so don't you guys worry.
You can find me on PetSmart Connect. It's the dating app I'm currently using. Look, I don't have any way to repair this again. We got no fuel. You can take it. You can take it for a joyride when we get back to the house.
We didn't need it.
Oh my god!
Get ready to build.
Holy f. Oh.
We hope we are the first cartoon interview you've done.
We've got this beautiful man on a television here and wondering when it's his time to talk.
Look at that hair.
You have amazing look. Whipped it back.
Thanks, guys. Take it easy. Paul Rudd ruins everything. He's a low-budget John Cusack.
Are we live yet?
Yes, we're
Are we
live.
Paul, if you're out there watching, I know you follow our channel.
Don't unsubscribe, Paul.
Thanks for following Paul Rudd.
Hello.
So I have to tell you, when I hadn't met you in person, but you guys had sent me a link that you were beta testing, right? Critically Awkward, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna tune in. I don't really know what it is, and I'm home at night, and my boyfriend's sitting next to me, and I start watching, and he doesn't know what I'm watching, but I got the sound up pretty loud, and all of a sudden he's just like, what on earth is going on? You guys were having such a good time and laughing so much, so I wonder if you could talk about that a little bit, how the 3 of you came together to do this show.
Sure. So we're, 3 really good friends that like a lot of entertainment, movies, TV, but we also share gaming interests. And we actually had an idea that we wanted to do a talk show, an animated talk show, because we're also fans of oh, this is Reggie, by the way, of ESPN Sports Center and Space Ghost Coast to Coast. So the original idea was wow, let's combine an animated talk show like Space Ghost Coast to Coast, where there's these 3 friends that argue a lot. So we argue a lot, but we also have a lot of fun. And that's when we actually discovered we were gonna do it traditionally. We were just gonna make it, we actually do have animation backgrounds, and we were going to just make it and go throw it on YouTube. But when we discovered character animator, we were like, wait. This is way cooler. Why aren't we gonna do this live, where people could actually interact with us and chat with us at the same time as cartoons? And we just thought that was so much cooler. And also, I do have an animation background. I'm actually a motion graphics designer and editor, but and I love character animation, but I actually also hate drawing, which was a weird thing because I love making things move. I love animating. So coming across something like character animator, where I don't have the tedious part of drawing frame by frame things, it just made my life a lot easier and made the art of animation more fun for me, because then I could just concentrate on that portion instead of worrying about perspective and I don't know, keyframing. So drawing was not, it's not my, character drawing is not my strong suit and was not my thing, which is why I am for Critically Awkward, I am the designer, editor, and I also do a lot of the character animator rigging and things like that. But I do that with Keith's art. He is the one that creates and designs the characters, so I will.
Yeah, so let's see some of Keith's art.
Hey guys, it's Reggie from Critically Awkward. Some of you guys may not know this, but Not only am I a cartoon, I'm also the art director at Critically Awkward. So I wear a bunch of different hats. Matter of fact, I have a hat for just this occasion. Yeah, that's right. I got this hat now. Enough about me. We are going to take a little art journey through the creation of Donk. This was the original drawing of when Critically Awkward was first born. We said we need a Donk. This is what he's going to look like. This is what he was going to smell like. And we started running tests in Character Animator like so.
Best fighting game franchise? Hands down, Super Smash Brothers.
I would love to agree with you on that, except for then we'd both be wrong.
I always knew that I wanted to take these characters and further develop them into 3D, but keep them look 2D with a cel-shaded look. That process began like so. So I started in ZBrush and ended up sculpting a new version, a better version, a stronger version of Donk. I cleaned it up in Maya, which is what you see here. You may ask yourself, what do you think a Donk would be accessorized with? Well, I'll tell you. Hard eyes because he's a lover, not a fighter. He cries a lot, so we had to give him some tears. We actually dress up to co-stream award shows on Twitch. Formal occasion, you know, as formal as it can be until it gets awkward. And it's about to get awkward. Last but not least, the hot dogs. Donk loves hot dogs, and we all love Donk. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of this panel and enjoy the rest of this Comic-Con. Reggie out.
So, who is Donk?
Donk. Is this on?
Yep.
Yep. Donk is actually a friend of ours that is in LA, and he streams with us while we're in Brooklyn. He's actually streaming with us from LA, so it's a pretty crazy setup that we had to get going for that.
So, you know, I don't know if anyone's mentioned this, but when you have multiple characters, you actually have to have a computer dedicated to each character. So if anyone has questions about how we're specifically set up, you know, I'm happy to chat about it. But technically, we do have a 4-computer setup, one for each character, and one that's dedicated for streaming to Twitch. And we actually just have to bring in Donk remotely from LA, an LA remote video feed. And that's how we're currently doing it. And we're still experimenting with other ways of doing it. So.
Well, so I'm sort of curious. I figure you must have some friends in New York. You probably could have done it all local. What made you decide you wanted to do it this way?
Well, we've known Donk for a very long time, and we always had like really good banter between us. So we had to get him a part of it. So it was just one of those fun things that we were like, we have to make this work. And we found out a way, and we're still like honing and getting it right and getting it better and optimizing. And it works out. And it's also like something that we wanted to kind of know ahead of time so we can do interviews and all that other stuff, because we have other things that we're adding to our plate as well. So finding out that tech was important.
How do you guys, and this is kind of a question for all of you, but how do you balance like creativity versus part of this is some technical challenges, right? And each one of you is doing, you know, different things but adding to that. So how do you balance those two things?
I don't know. I've always been under the impression that, like, there's always a way to do what you want. And I'm the kind of guy who always likes to just play around with software until I get it right. So I just say hard work, dedication, and time. Just experiment. And there's always a workaround. And just try a lot of stuff, really. Just experiment and have fun with it.
Failure. Just failing constantly, just screwing up, just breaking things. Like, I can't tell you how many streams I've started late because I was like, oh, I'll just add one little thing like 10 minutes before I go live, and then I get to spend like 30 minutes figuring out what I did wrong. And it's it's almost always my fault. So, yeah, I mean that's sort of what I'm all about, you know.
So you just get comfortable with that failure or with those technical challenges.
Yeah, and just, you know, expect that things are gonna go wrong, and that, you know, that anybody who's really good at something, you know, is gonna make a mistake first.
Well, for us, since there's 3 of us, we run into technical issues all the time. We're constantly failing. And you just have to keep rolling with it. And luckily for us, there are 3 of us. So usually it's me that has to take my character off, try to fix things, and these 2 have to keep going with something, right? Or if something totally breaks, we have all kinds of things set to trigger when we are experiencing technical difficulties. So we actually try to make it out, turn it into a joke. There's just some weird things that, like, there's this one time our audio went bonkers, and they made us, it made all our audio feeds sound like we inhaled tons of helium, and we sounded like chipmunks. So, like, we rolled with it for a good 10 minutes, and it was hilarious. But you just, I don't know, you just gotta keep, you experiment. And when you're doing it live too, it's gonna sound scary because you got people watching you fail at the same time, but you'll also just learn faster because you're trying to, like, get it done quickly, and it could end up being a hilarious moment. So that was actually when our audio failed. That was the funniest part of that stream.
Yeah. Sounds fun. So we are demoing every day in the Adobe booth downstairs, and all of these guys are demoing too, and you can come ask us more questions outside, and Victoria's still got some swag, so anybody who asked questions that didn't get some, or if you would like one of the smaller shirts for your younger aspiring animators, we have some of those too, but come see us outside. We got to get going for the next panel. They're giving me the sign. So thanks so much, and thanks to all of our panelists.